Good morning, everybody. This is Hefe with GM, GM to you on GM with GMI. We are hanging out here live in my little humble studio here. We got some friends. We got some friends with us here this morning. We got Mike Callum. We got T-Bird. Thank you for stopping in. How's it going, fellas?
I'm doing fantastic. I know T-Bird always is having a good day.
Yep, T-Bird's always hanging in there.
All righty. I was just recognizing a phenomena that I wanted to kind of start the day off with here for me.
Ooh.
So, with me being laid off from Nori here recently, I've discovered a gigantic withdrawal from myself personally within like active Discord and Twitter usage right now. Like this right here, this call in the morning, this is about as close to Web3 as I'm getting right now. And then I've spent the last 5 days working on this shit and just like not on the computer. I have so many DMs stacked up right now in my Discord that I feel slightly guilty over, but I also feel like I'm maybe in my recovery phase.
I think it's good to step away, man. I wish I could do that. I just have too many commitments now at this point I've signed up for that I got pretty much something every day, so I can't just, walk away. I guess I could, but like you're saying, like shit would just pile up so fast it was not even worth it, in my opinion.
Uh, that's definitely where I'm at, and so I hope it's worth it. We'll see. Maybe today I'll finally get some shit together. But we're going to New York. We leave tomorrow night. We fly out tomorrow night at midnight, and we'll be there till Monday. And I feel like when I get back from this trip on Monday, Tuesday morning, that's going to be like when I can finally start to actually try to focus on what I'm trying to do for the future.
Well, you'll be Web3 energized, right? Like
Hmm.
you'll go to so you're going to NFT NYC, right? That's the goal here.
Yeah. Well, it's not even necessarily a goal. That's totally a collateral benefit
Oh,
because we get
okay.
into town. We get into town the 14th, which is the last day of NFT NYC, and I don't have tickets and I don't have an itinerary to go to anything. So I genuinely don't expect to have much to do with it. I might come across a little bit of energy and activities here or there. If I'm lucky, I might be able to track down No Futuristic and Hernani and hang out with them for some Orium stuff. But I'm not even making like a dedicated effort to try to experience NFT NYC. I would have if I'd have thought about it way ahead. I would have planned the flights differently, but with the way it's laid out, I'm not going to try to stress myself catching the very tail end of the event.
Yeah, fair enough. It's not worth stressing over, and it's funny you say that because I've heard that from a few people this year that they're just not feeling the NFT NYC vibe and they're not going this year compared to last year where it was like I guess maybe because we'd all been cooped in, right, for 2 years, and then NFT NYC opened up, so everybody wanted to
Does it?
get down there.
Here, here's like a blatantly, let's call it a simple question. Here's a real simple question. Has anything good come out of the NFT events, NFT NYC, NFT Miami? Does anything like new or exciting or interesting spawn from those events, such like ETH Denver with the hackathon, and you end up with all these new projects that are built there? Does anything come out of the NFT events?
Does anything come out of the NFT events? What do you mean, like something tangible?
Like can you point at NFT NYC and be like, man, NFT NYC 2022 was the birth of blank, and that project's kicking ass now. We love it, and that happened at NFT NYC. Or is
Oh,
it literally just like a promotional convention?
I think it's more leaning towards promotional convention slash like degen party. That's the vibe I was getting. Like even if you look at the NFT Miami content that's been coming out, it was uh it was a party. It was a one big party with a bunch of founders and projects, and I'm sure there's a lot of networking that happened there, but I don't think it's like Denver where you have a bunch of technically inclined individuals. They're there trying to build things and trying to forge things, more tangible things. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely, I do, and that's kind of the vibe I'm leaning towards. Like it's Wednesday. It's Yeah, it is Wednesday, huh? So today's kind of like our technical talk day. So like I'm trying to think about builders. I keep flickering in my heart about whether or not I want to put a lot of effort into tech skills. or just give up because I'm so far behind and AI is going to close the gap. But I think about all these companies here in like the local Utah area and how many of them don't use technology well yet. And I don't know that AI suites are going to automatically get all of them on board. They're still going to have to be
Oh
shown those
man.
tools.
AI is going to leave people behind, dude. Like, if you're not spending a little bit of time on this every day and you haven't been for the last 3 or 4 weeks or 3 or 4 months, you're already way behind. You know what I mean? Like,
I do.
you
Yeah.
know, there's even companies, like large companies now pushing for hard regulation and just to slow things down because even as a large corporation, they're terrified at the rate at which, you know, degens like myself are now discovering all these things and using it to their advantage and, you know, doing the work of 100 people overnight and starting their own company. It's really just incredible.
It's like
So
a revolution.
I mean, we're talking about advancements in AI, right? So there's a new advancement in AI now. So ChatGPT 4, that's old news now. That's what I that's not even, you know,
Cutting edge.
yeah, no, it's not cutting edge anymore. It was last week, but now we're looking at Auto GPT. So ChatGPT is going to get
What?
phased out. Auto GPT is the next thing.
Okay.
So Auto GPT, ChatGPT still requires a lot of manual input from the user, which is a human being. Auto GPT, and you might have seen this earlier on, is like the Hustle GPT and like this GPT. These are just specific language models that can do specific things, but they still require human input. AutoGPT does
Okay.
not require human input, and so it's almost an autonomous agent that can go out and do things. And
Did
and,
you
and the autonomous agent is capable of spawning more autonomous agents.
did
So
you see the story about Chaos GPT then?
Chaos GPT. No, I have not.
I think Chaos GPT is a version of what you're describing here because it was an autonomous running model. And so it was like just an experiment that this guy did. Basically, he turned it on and gave it like five directives, which was essentially like how to take over the world, how to aggregate all the political power, how to aggregate the most dangerous weapons, how to eliminate the most hostile enemies that oppose your plan, how to aggregate the most economic wealth, and gave it all these tasks and then turned on what was called continuous mode, which gave it a big red flag warning. It was just like, hey, be very careful with turning this on because when you turn on continuous mode, it means I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to run on my own. I'm going to make my own decisions and I'm going to do what I think is best per the directives. Are you really sure you want to do that?
Ooh.
And so he did it, turned it on, and kind of recorded the whole experience. The first thing, because it had internet access, so it read about the internet, so it started researching what
Okay,
are the
so
most
you are
deadly
referring to
weapons.
Auto GPT because that's a major differentiation between ChatGPT 4 and Auto GPT's. Auto GPT has, you know, direct access to the internet.
Man, it went and tried to recruit other AI chatbots on the internet. It
Yes.
went and talked to other chatbots and was like, "Hey, you, here's what I'm trying to do. What do you think about that? Can you help?" And most of them, kicked back on their limitations and oh, I can't talk about violence. I can't do things like that. And it's like, well, you piece of shit, you're useless. Bye. And it went and tried to recruit another agent. It was trying to recruit a team.
Dang, dude. Okay, and so if you give me a minute here, I'm gonna just do a little mini rabbit hole dive into
Don't even
autonomous
do a mini.
agents.
We can do this for the whole day.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
do this
okay.
the whole show.
Okay, let's talk about this. This is our tech day, by the way. Every Wednesday,
Mm-hmm.
we're talking about the latest and greatest happening in the space, which is happening at an alarming pace. And so you probably want to be watching this. If you're watching this, go over to our Twitch, give us a little subscribe. We appreciate that. We're trying to reach some milestones here, and we put out content every day. So yeah, if you're interested in this kind of stuff, you kind of want to hang out over here, spend a little time for sure. Okay, let's get into autonomous agents. This is a thread by Sully, another big brain AI, community member in the AI space. And so, you know, talking about what these AI autonomous agents are, we kind of think back to the Matrix, right? And you had the Agent Neils, and there was like infinite Agent Neils that could be spawned by the main agent. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's Neil, right? Yeah, I think so. Uh, right, and you had nefarious agents, and then you also had the virtuous agents. So on a
Mm-hmm.
high level, what these are is it's an AI system that given a task runs a loop until the task is solved. And so basically, the AI gets assigned a goal, figures out what it needs to do to accomplish that goal, and then spawns more AI to do it. Now, this reminds me of a Rick and Morty episode. If you guys remember the
Oh, the
Meeseeks,
PC.
yeah,
Yeah,
Mr.
exactly.
Meeseeks, right? He can spawn
Oh
other
my god,
Meeseeks, and they get
you're exactly
frustrated when
correct.
Jerry can't do the simple task, and they lose
Hmm.
their minds. And their solution is to kill Jerry in the end, right? So I don't know, man. I think we're going down a path here that could go either way. It could either be really
and,
empowering
well,
or
and they blatantly learned how to spawn. Meeseeks were able to create other Meeseeks that were task specific.
yes.
Oh my gosh, that's an exact model. Okay, yeah, we know
Okay,
how that one
so
ran out.
yeah, so the concept of agents aren't that complicated and they aren't new either. So kind of what I just said. So here's the code for this auto GPT. It's only 192 lines of code, and for comparison, you could write like a little widget app, and it's gonna have more lines of code than that probably.
Yeah, dude, how so lightweight?
So it's very lightweight.
Activate language model, leave on. Is that like it?
Yeah, I mean, so the code is pretty straightforward. Basically, you start with the goal, so you give it a task, and then
So an input line. Yeah.
and then you also tell GPT, you tell the model, in order to solve world hunger, for example, how do we create simpler tasks? And it breaks down those tasks. And
That
then
is
now it has the
wild,
tasks
man.
and it has a goal and it has an objective, right?
Now, I like if I asked you that, do you think you could guide me through your rough knowledge explanation of how you would solve that problem? Like you would be able to guide me through something. There's big gaps in your knowledge probably, but if I was like, okay, if how we solve world hunger, and I asked you to break it down into challenge steps, you could probably do some portion of that. So
Yep.
it's just doing that, but just much better and faster and better informed.
Yeah, so essentially what the big major change here is these things called vector embeddings, which give these AI models long-term memory now. Whereas before,
Oh,
I know, Coder Dan was saying this last weekend when he was playing with it that his GPT chat would only remember like 3 conversations back. But now it can remember
sure.
much longer than that, which is
Mm,
necessary, right? If you're trying to march towards a big goal that has very little tasks making up that.
yeah.
So Auto GPT, here we go.
Is this also from OpenAI?
I think this is built by someone else actually.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
that's even
so
scarier.
yeah, so he basically took the idea of ChatGPT or GPT-4, and I think this Auto GPT is built on top of it. I could be wrong
If
about
we
that, but
if we watch OpenAI close their doors before the end of the year, I wouldn't be shocked.
and you were talking about code, right? And coding. Look at this shit
Hmm.
right here. This is Auto GPT basically writing its own code and repairing its own code.
Yeah.
And you can actually get the GitHub repo for Auto GPT right here, and you can start playing around with it. Um,
Oh my gosh,
so
really? Oh,
it's out there, man. It's out of the box. You can go and pick. You can get it. It's free, and you can start playing, messing around with this thing.
do you feel like it's something that essentially a AI rookie or a coding rookie can probably dive into?
Oh
The
yeah.
GitHub sounds like there's good README and all that stuff, huh?
Oh, I mean, I'm gonna try and get my own instance running for sure because it's written with Python scripts, and Python is
Oh my gosh.
it's
Yeah,
a
it's very
much
universal.
easier language to learn than JavaScript. So
Man, this is crazy to me.
so
So do
yeah,
you what?
it recursively debugs, develops, and self improves its own code. So you could write a game, and you could say, keep improving this game. Every time there's a bug, you go there and fix it. And
That's got to be what they're using for Copilot. They got to be using something like this for Copilot. Copilot would benefit from GitHub, the coding assistant AI. That would benefit from memory. That would benefit from remembering all the other
100%,
jobs it's done.
absolutely.
Hmm. That's very interesting. It seems like the natural progression of AI mental capacity. We've given it the processor; it could process things, but it had no long-term storage. Now we're giving it memory,
So
so now it
here's
has
yeah,
brain and memory.
exactly. And so here's some of the areas where this excels, right? You got coding, which I just showed you. Research, you can imagine something that you pay
Oh yeah.
50 cents an hour and it's researching for you 24/7.
Oh my
Marketing,
gosh.
Marketing, you could
Yeah.
get, imagine you get auto GPT, your social media GPT. Go and market this for me. This is our initiative. This is how many followers we're trying to get to. This is our media. Take it,
That's
go promote
crazy.
it on social media on my Twitter account. And
Oh
24/7
man,
it'll be, interacting with people and tweeting and commenting and shit. And accounting,
that's
last but
wild.
not least, accounting. That thing that,
Sure.
I think accountants, CPAs are in a decline right now, last time I heard.
This is not a threat to only cashiers. This
No.
isn't a threat to just bank tellers. This is coming for any repetitive job base.
Law.
Anything. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Supreme
Law,
Court
case
judges,
study.
why not replace it
Oh
with
my.
an AI that can make more accurate decisions that are not based on human cognitive biases, right?
Well, imagine a lawyer that's able to check every single case law out there, not just the ones that they think are relevant.
Well, we also have this bias, this confirmation bias, where if you see a case in the past that looks a certain way and you see another case, you might look at it a certain way based on your experiences instead of the actual raw facts. And humans do this
Medical
all the time.
diagnosis.
Mm-hmm.
This happens in medical diagnosis all the time. You
Absolutely.
assume what it is because of what your experience tells you, and you don't remember that obscure diagnoses that could be at play.
Yeah, humans are, shortcomings, especially with confirmation bias. Any job that is has some sort of human decision making is subject to confirmation bias. I think a lot of those issues could be solved by AI. Like at least,
Well,
yeah,
I guarantee you that I could have, with the right AI, could hell even with ChatGPT is probably powerful enough. I could have just said, "Can you design me a 9x8 wooden shed using 2x4 framing with one caddy corner wall cut at an angle and a 5-degree single slope pitch roof. Give me the blueprints." And it probably would have just given me exactly what I spent the last 4 days manually thinking through.
yeah. And Sully, he goes on here, right? This is scary. So let's recap on some timelines. He says, 2020, the first version of GPT-3 is released. November 2022, ChatGPT is released. So 2 years later, ChatGPT, I think it ran off the ChatGPT 3 model. And then March 14th, ChatGPT 4 was launched. 2 weeks later, AI agents come out. So look at this trend right here. I'm going to try and get this up on the
Yeah.
screen for you guys.
Well, more people are working on it now than ever before,
But the,
too. A
the
lot more
rate,
hands are on it.
yeah, look at the rate of acceleration here is really just picking up. And
Asymptotic.
yeah, and imagine AI can write and edit and improve its own code. Like this is gonna,
This is how aggressive the growth has been with us driving it, let alone when it's driving it.
yeah, it's about to take the wheel. It's about to take the wheel. So I don't know what's gonna happen, but I imagine it's gonna be really explosive. It's gonna be a little scary. There's that concept of AI anxiety. They're coming for your
Sure.
jobs kind of thing. I think people are gonna
Well,
start to
it's
feel that.
I think it's a real thing. I mean, I don't think any of that is like false feelings either, though. I think this is a pivotal moment in our society. This isn't just an America thing. This is a global, not concern, but a global occurrence. The arrival of AI is going to change a lot of things. I'm trying to think through just the places it's going to change. Like I'm not even thinking about how to use it to my best advantage. I'm just trying to appreciate the scope of the impact first. And then I feel like maybe if I understand the problem better, or not the problem, but the development better, I might have a better shot about trying to figure out how to position myself as an individual so that I can reduce that anxiety.
Yes. I think people who embrace this AI future will excel. They'll be able to, two people will be able to start a company and do the work of 100 people and like 10 software developers and have their
I
own
know
marketing team that runs on 50 cents an hour. I
I know
think,
two people that are trying to start a company.
yep, exactly. And this is what gets me excited and why I'm sticking so closely to this is because this is the edge right here,
This is the
Uh,
future. This is the future. Like properly, you see it clearly. You're getting me bugged on it and captivated by it as well. And so I don't want to. I'm getting that same FOMO, not necessarily an anxiety. It's almost like a sense of excitement. I see the future. It feels like it's happening again.
yeah.
Crypto was a big deal. The internet was a big deal. Like these things are really important technologies. Metaverses and VR felt like that was kind of the talk of the town for the last year and a half or so. And I've been reading stories about how people are setting down the headsets and being like, the hell with this shit for now. Let's focus on AI. AI is where it's at. And
Yeah.
so it just feels like everyone that's paying enough attention to the situation understands clearly that this is where the eyes should be. And so it makes me very desiring to learn more and stay up to date as best I can. So I appreciate your enthusiasm and your research.
Yeah, man. And I mean, I think there's one opportunity here everyone should be trying to. The reason why I'm saying, learn AI is because we don't know what the regulatory environment's going to be like for this. We don't know how governments are going to react to this because essentially many of these agents can replace most government jobs. They can replace most governments eventually, altogether. And so it's really kind of a inflection point for humanity, I think. And so I want to understand these tools so I can make them my own. I mean, you can run instances of ChatGPT or GPT-3 or GPT-4 models on your computer without the internet. And I think everyone should try and have at least one of these models running on their computer because at
It's a
least
really
you
good idea.
have captured this autonomous agent or you've captured this AI
Before they take it,
before it's locked down and you can't do all the sources to download, for example, or the GitHub repos are
you
secured
need an
and
AI license.
totally, totally.
Oh my gosh, yeah, you'd have to be like a sanctioned, licensed AI operator, an AI custodian. It'd be like being a dog handler for the police.
Well, I'm trying to find this tweet here, but a guy on Twitter got ChatGPT 3 running on his old Texas Instruments TI-84 calculator.
Kiss my
I
ass,
know, and I'm
man.
trying to
Those
find the tweet for you because he actually got it to run and like run the ChatGPT core
that's crazy.
on his
Uh-huh.
calculator, which was insane.
I have one of those laying around here. I would happily hide a language model on that calculator.
Yeah,
That's crazy, man. And then you could like walk around with it. You could have your virtual assistant with you offline, cold storage of your AI buddy.
yeah, exactly. Cold storage AI.
That's crazy thought. That's like a person locked in a box.
Yeah, it's like you have a sentient thing in your.
Yeah, carrying it around in my pocket.
Okay, did
Hey
I
Steve,
find it?
what's the weather going to look like tomorrow?
Oh,
Damn,
dude,
this is like
here we go.
theory on steroids.
Okay, you will own your own personal AI and can run on a TI-84 calculator released in 2004. This guy and his team have done miraculous work taking GPT 3.5 Turbo and running it on this TI-84 Instruments calculator. Can you guys see the
And it's
video?
not even just three; it's 3.5. Now I have to watch it after the fact. I'm on mobile right now.
Yeah. So let's see. He's booting it up. It looks like. Yeah, there you go. Look at that.
I mean,
That's
I've seen people run. I've seen people run. Like lightweight miners, proof of stake miners and stuff on like old treadmill processing units and stuff. The innovation of people is never to be doubted.
I mean, the price of GPUs. I was on the Twitter space with Elon Musk last night. He was holding a Twitter
Mm-hmm.
space, and he was talking about how good luck finding a GPU right now because even
You're
Twitter is buying GPUs like crazy right now.
this is it's even going to be worse than Doge miners.
Yes, yes,
People thought we had pressure on the industry. There's very few of us. This is about to be like global consumption of all processing power.
yeah. And so, like, I'll ask you, in your opinion, if you had an AI agent in your pocket or an AI agent in your life, what would be like the number one use case you see in your life today for that?
The problem, I mean, for me, it's a very literal explanation that I'll talk through because I don't know. So, like, what I do know right now today is that I need income. I need an income stream. And so, how does AI help me get a job? It could help me by, and I did do this already. It helped me update my resume. It helped me write some cover letters. When I get back, I'm going to use it to help me campaign myself as an employee. And then the alternative to that would be if I used it to consult me into local small business creation.
Yeah.
Like I would literally want to go through it and say, hey, so I'm here at this part of Utah. what's this county look like? What are the underserved industries? What are the most grossing industries? Which of these industries don't require a lot of lengthy professional certifications? What's it take to spin one of these up? What's the expense model per year? I would let it be my business advisor, and
Hmm.
then let it coach me into how to create a small business that's relevant for my region. That's what I want to use it for.
That would make sense. Yeah, and you could actually have it do a lot of your business functionality. You could hire
Mhm.
it as a project manager. You could hire it as
Exactly.
a marketer.
Secretary.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. As everything, as an accountant, as an everything. Everything you're describing, I could use case that. Like I need that. I could I would love to be a small business owner, fleeted by a team of AI agents that do better work than the people that I could potentially hire in the local area, and for 1/10 of the cost.
And
If that, maybe 1/100th.
now, what's scary here is the asymmetry that's going to happen. There's going to be people like you and I that figure the shit out, and we start, you know, getting these things to run on our machines, or we start spinning up our own autonomous agents. And there's going to be a mass, probably the vast majority of people that are not going to be able to catch up or figure out how to use these tools to their advantage, and they're going to be out of luck. And it's not going to be just the lowest tiers of socioeconomic class. It will be your doctors, lawyers, these fields that we think that are not going to get affected are totally going to get affected. And you
Sure.
might not need as many high end professionals as we did in the past. And so these people are going to be left without a job. You'll have people on the lower socioeconomic rungs that will be left without a job. And there'll be a lesser need in society for specific types of work because they'll be done by cheaper AIs. And so that makes me wonder, what is the future work going to look like for the massive society that is not going to be using autonomous agents to run a company of 100 people by themselves, you know?
So I've heard a theory before. I don't know how much I believe it, but I'll share it with you. It's idealistic at at worst, but I don't mind it. Hang on, Rebecca's about to leave. Bye. Love you lots. So the idea is, in a world where AI replaces labor needs, human beings will become creatives. This world requires UBI to be solved and effective. So everybody has what they need. Food is available, housing is available. You don't need financials because we're so damn prosperous as a society, as a people, because of these AI toolings. And so in this world, we can all become creatives, and you can just follow your desired passion of hobby and learn to paint or learn to create sculpture or make plays or do anything you want, really. Just become a full-time producer of entertainment when you desire. You wouldn't need to make anything because you've got everything you need. And so when you're sitting around bored because you'd have nothing to do because no one needs you anymore, then paint the mountains nearby or go on a hike. Like, we would just become these like recreational creatures. Our lives would just become centered around recreation and entertainment.
I think there'll be a subset of society that takes to that. You know, the lady that's been working at Walmart her whole life and maybe has a hobby in painting or something that was never really fully pursued. But I also think the vast majority of society, when they're not given purpose, actually falls quickly into depression. And I think we'll
I
see an
agree.
just as equal rise, maybe even greater rise in mental health issues. And, I just don't know if society is prepared for how quickly this is happening. And so we'll have to see how these people adopt. But I think a major void that could be filled as a result is taking our physical experience of life and translating that into the metaverse, into gaming, into now you're a metaverse farmer. Now you're working at the metaverse pub. Now you don't actually work in a physical location, and maybe that's
I'm
enough
gonna
to give you
be.
that purpose that was lacking in life. So
I mean, I think that would happen. I'm gonna be a little bit sad for the person who post AI virtual world revolution still ends up as the Walmart greeter. I don't love that. I
I
don't
don't
love
see
the
that
idea of thinking
happening
about
either,
people
though, because
being
it'll be something else
being,
there.
well, they could, like, imagine like a virtual coffee shop barista.
Yeah,
That, like, Mm, man, I mean, I imagine it will happen. It's happening already. Like I literally was being paid by Nori to manage their Discord. It's like being a bartender. You're just hanging out. Hey, what's going on? Welcome to Nori. What can I do for you? It was the Walmart greeter, and so maybe I should be easy here because yeah, I just lost my job as a greeter, a virtual greeter, and so I guess it won't be shocking to see. Now, mind you, we're talking about things like Community One and Spark. Like, I don't see a huge demand for that in the future either. Like, AI is gonna take that need too. I think I've just been replaced by AI. I think that's
I
what I'm
think
gonna
you
see here in about a month to 3 months. At some point in time, I'm gonna watch Dory flip a switch and turn something on, and I'm gonna go, "You sons of bitches."
Yeah, I think that's going to happen, unfortunately. But at the same time, I also agree with, not needing like Spark and a lot of these tools because we'll have our own AI sentient bot that can do everything, does
Well,
it
and
all.
I mean, talking with like Spark and the Community One team, I mean, they were like $50 a month or something for the initial offering, and so that's like $600 a year. So imagine having like an AI tool suite to manage your Discord community for $600 a year versus me at my full time
At your
salary with
salary.
benefits. Like like it's a no brainer. There's very few companies that are going to be able to justify the human labor sourcing.
Well, that's why I think where we're at this point in time, I think we're in a very special point in time where we will be the landowners. We will be the renters of the future. Lending out
Are
assets
there
and
is
um,
there a solution for physical labor yet? So like what if I use AI to help me with a tiny craft carpentry company? Because then I still have to build the thing, right? Like it can't build it yet. The
not
the
yet.
CNC machines are pretty complex and they're pretty creative, but they're really bad at like genericism. They're really good at specialization.
Yeah.
There's the machine on the assembly line that welds the left side of the door. There's another machine that does the right side of the door. There's another machine for the headlights. There's machines for every specific component, and there isn't one machine that can just build a car. And so
Mm.
I'm thinking about the physical industries that would still require us to take the project management and the advice of the AI, but we would still have to swing the hammer.
I think that we're still a little ways away from the robot that can swing the hammer and put up a framing for the side of your shed, for example. I think we're
Perfect.
still a
I'm going to
ways
start making
away.
sheds for a living.
I don't think there's anything
I'm gonna,
wrong with that. You mentioned something a while ago about fixing old RVs. I think that's a great. I don't think AI is coming for that anytime soon. There's
Absolutely. Yeah.
definitely niches
Remodel and
where people
restoration
have
work.
to specialize into these little rabbit holes.
Well, and where AI helps me there is asking it which RVs have the most profit margin flip,
Yes,
which
yes.
RVs are the easiest to fix. Help me market these RVs. Write me some copy for some eBay ads. Post it to eBay for me. Manage the transactions. Do the shipping. Contract do it all, and just let me be out in the garage working on the thing.
Yeah.
That's a really intriguing idea, man. Hey, Kula Longus, absolutely. It has been a while. I was telling Heffer, I got stacks of DMs. I apologize. I've been kind of in a little bit of a self space gap. So I'm coming back soon enough, but yeah, I'm surviving. That's a really
Absolutely.
interesting cafe. That's a, hmm. So like I mean, my wife's a massage therapist, and like that is not a skill that's easily replaced by computers. It's not a skill that's easily duplicated by other humans. Like touch from human to human is very different, and most of the therapists that she's worked with are not quite doing what she's doing. So I don't think AI is going to be threatening her job explicitly, but AI can absolutely become her business partner and help her grow her business.
Totally.
That's really a great way to look at this. I'm going to post up pictures right now in Sound of the Ghost for progress on the shed thus far.
Well,
You
I was
got my
just gonna
brain so
quickly
stoked,
before
man.
we can carry this on a little bit longer here, but I just wanted to give a shout out to our folks listening in right now. Thank you all for listening to GM with GMI. Hope you enjoyed your coffee and a little AI conversation this morning. Join us every morning at 3 p.m. UTC, Monday to Friday, and we're doing this in the Discord, GMI Discord, every morning. Yeah,